Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? So I wasn't super happy with the tone comparison video I did out of the three Subway Series amps by Mesa. And so what I decided to do was do something a little bit more real world. So I kind of had a sound in my head. I dialed it up on all three amplifiers on all four channels as best as I could, and then played the same passage of a kind of recognizable but shortened passage from a song the way I usually play it when I play it in the band. And then just kind of flip back and forth between the various amplifiers. So to kind of demonstrate, like when you dial a tone that you're looking for on these amps, you know the differences between the amps sounds anyway. So the video is actually going to toggle between the 800 plus to the Subway channel on the TT800, to the Boogie channel on the TT800, to the WD, and then back to the D800 plus. So let's see what these things sound like. Okay, so the playing's done, so I just want to show you really quickly where these amplifiers were set. There weren't really extreme tone settings on these things. There's the 800 plus. All of them had the high-pass filter all the way down. So I had the voicing up a little bit, a little bit more than normal, not quite halfway. Boosted the bass a little bit. Didn't do anything with the low mid at all. The gain's kind of flat. Boosted a little bit, somewhere around, like, I think it's right dead center, wherever that might be. And let's see, and did some treble. I think dead around there. I thought it might be somewhere around, I don't know where it is. But that's what I boosted. That's what sounded good. And I had the bright switch on. So that's what I did with the 800 plus. And by the way, I didn't really compare these things to each other. I was just kind of dialing the sound that was in my head as I went, from amp to amp. The only time I really kind of cheated a little bit was with this sucker because I was flipping back and forth between them. So I'll go on the Subway channel here. you know, I boosted the bass. I just kind of cut the mid a little teeny bit around like 900 or so ish, and boost the treble a little bit. No bright, no deep switch, and that's what I did for that channel. Also had the overdrive symmetry about like almost in the middle between like symmetrical and asymmetrical. For the boogie channel, let's see, what did I do here? Boost the bass a good chunk, but like, you know, the extreme tone settings on the boogie channel really aren't as extreme as you think, because that's the Fender tone stack is the Fender tone stack, so it's not like an active EQ. Mid-range, you know, I've cut a little bit, you know, because mid-range is almost all cut, and then I've got the frequency up a little bit closer towards, I guess, let's see here, I can't read, a little bit more towards shift. It seemed to sound really cool there. It seems like the more you hit towards shift, it changes with the center frequency that the mids are cutting, and it seems to like shift it downward so the sound gets a little brighter. At least that's what it sounds like to me. And the treble's up quite a bit. But once again, those are passive tone controls, so it's not as extreme as you think. The deep and the bright switch were off. So that's pretty much how I got that tone on the TT. And then on the WD, let's see, what did I do here with this sucker? Boosted the bass just a little bit. Cut some low mids just a little bit, somewhere around, I guess, like 400 hertz, and just a teeny bit. Boosted a little bit of high mids somewhere around, I'm guessing, let's see, where the heck are we going to call that at that point? Oh, man. Where the red button is. So around 3.5, something like that. Just a teeny bit, you know, by ear. Passive mids, I still have, you know, up quite a bit. I haven't cut an awful lot there. Boosted the treble a teeny bit. Just wanted to get a slightly brighter sound out of the thing. That's it. You know, very little. There's a lot of knobs on this thing, but doesn't mean you have to use them all the time. And, you know, it means you make little teeny adjustments. And then, let's see, I had the damping control on medium, which is about my favorite. And that's pretty much it. That's how I got that sound out of each amp. But you can see that sound is very different depending on which amplifier you're using. So you're going to come away from this video with your own impressions, you know, and that's cool. That's why I made this video in the first place. You know, your mileage may vary. I'm going to have different opinions about these sounds than you will. I like them all, to be quite honest with you, but they're all very, very different. The D800 Plus is this really fat sound. It's a really fat sounding amplifier for a little solid state amplifier. It's very warm. It's not sterile or anything like that, but it's not necessarily a dark amp either. You can boost the treble and whatnot, and you know, it brightens right up. It's really, really cool. The subway channel on the TT800, that's a really aggressive sounding you know, preamp to me. You can definitely boost up the bass more on that thing and get a thicker, fuller sound out of it. But to me, it's just really, you know, I like it when it starts to get a little dirty. You know, that's a really nice, aggressive, cut right through the mix sort of sound to me. The boogie channel on the TT800, on the other hand, it's got like this old school like wonderfulness to it, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's all like, you know, dark. You know, it can be very, very bright and very pleasing, but it's, you know, it's really got this special kind of quality to it. I like it an awful lot. And it's hard to describe, you know, to be quite honest with you. Talking about tone is like fishing about spaghetti, isn't it? And then the WD, you know, it's this really neat sounding amp too. It's bright, it's really open sounding as opposed to the kind of fuller, you know, thicker sounding Plus. And it's, you know, it's got something special kind of going on in that whole mid-range. And it's really neat, like kind of like spongy sort of sound to it. You know, it's different than the boogie channel. They both kind of live in that same kind of zone, but it's its own thing. And they all make me smile. But you know, it's clear that you dial the same tone in. You're trying to dial the same tone in all these amplifiers, and yeah, you get it, but they all sound really different, don't they? How about that?